Hey there. So there's a lot of videos out there on how to build underground and different methods that people like to use. For me, I like to use the symptomatic and really any item that you can interact with that has a decent height to it can be used to get underground. And what I mean is, here's my camp entrance, and then when you look at it, it's not maybe immediately apparent how to go underground. And that's actually kind of why I like these symptomatics because they fit into the aesthetics of builds very well. It's just a little symmetrical circle here, but see when I hover over it, it says use,
I can't believe
and boom,
everything went
pops me underground.
bad while I was asleep.
And from here, I have the
What
rest
do
of
you
my
think
camp
of
that I
this?
can go down and really enjoy my underground build and just see everything else, have the freedom to go low and go to the side without obstruction of items and terrain around me. Some people like that freedom. Some people don't like that freedom. I've built a few camps above ground, and I really can't go back. Once I've built underground here, and I love the views like this. I know it looks a little glitchy, but well, it looks a little glitchy, but I don't. I just really like this aesthetic. Just being able to look out here and just see this color scheme. And it's just very, like I said, melancholy almost. Anyways, showing how I do all this because, yeah, one of the things about building underground, you don't see all this ugliness usually. I mean, this is hidden from people, so you don't have to worry about all these things jutting out because people are only going to see things from the inside. You get that extra bit of freedom. So I'm going to show you how I go underground and how I do all my connected builds using a symptomatic. And again, you don't have to use a symptomatic. I'm just going to show you how I do it, and then I'll also use other items so you can see that you can use anything really, as long as it can be interacted with. So say this is the area that I want to be my entrance. Well, first we have to have a way to get underground so we can start building because most items won't allow you to just sink right away. So let me delete a few things so that I've got budget to play with here. 10%. So if I go over here and I get a symptomatic, see, it won't let me put it underground. Even if I go to free, it doesn't want to go underground. So the way we get the initial start on building underground is we get some staircases. So I like using these concrete stairs. I just float them above the ground first, go back to the symptomatic, and this needs to be snapped on like the bottom step, like right there. So now when I grab my staircase, it moves with it. And the reason we use a staircase, the staircase can be put underground. See how it clips through? And it took the symptomatic with it. So this isn't actually going to be our way into the underground camp. This is just a temporary setup. So we want this a little bit out of the way so we have room to build. So I'm going to put this like right here. So it's just out of the way. And that way when I use it, I'm underground. Usually when you're underground, there's nothing to stand on. Now when you use the symptomatic, you're actually on the edge of it so you don't fall right away. So when you get underground, one of the first things you want to do is you want to get into build mode. And when you're underground, the camera kind of sucks. That's why you need to get into first person. And I usually just go ahead and put down the floor, just so that I have room to see what I'm doing. So, there we go. So now I'm over here and I can kind of see what I'm doing. And then I'm not wasting my resources. Go ahead, put those up so I can use them again later. So for me, because I like using the symptomatic, because I like the size of it and how it fits in with the build, I usually go ahead and go to porches and set this guy down. And the reason I like porches, you get a floor, you get a wall, you get a ceiling, all for the cost of one flamingo unit. So it's really good use of budget. It's a very cheap item. You can snap to it. It's indestructible, which is a bonus, so it doesn't get destroyed by random enemies and nuclear blasts. But it's in my opinion, it's a very good starting piece for your underground camp. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the symptomatic. And if you see, it's not quite tall enough. If I put this down here, it doesn't stick up, so you can't use it. So we need to put this on something to give it a little bit of height. And one of my favorite items to use in this case is the hot tub, the Cappy hot tub. This is an Atom Shop item. It comes around every now and then. You don't have to use this. I just like it because the colors kind of match. I like the aesthetics of it, and I like the little steps. It just feels like it all kind of works together. So I got that hot tub right there. I can now grab this, and with a little bit of finesse, you want to snap it. You don't want to free place it. Cool. So now this is all one little piece. So if I grab the porch, everything goes with it. So this is going to be our main point of entry. All the rest of our camp is going to be based off of this. So it's very important that this is placed in the right spot, that you think ahead on where you want to put this, and that's in a key spot. If I put it here, well, when you come down, you're going to run right into that rock. So you got to really kind of plan ahead on where you're wanting to put this, make sure there's not stuff in the way, how are you going to position this, etc., etc. So just for now, I'm going to put mine there like that. Now, hopefully, this sticks up above ground, and I'm able to enter the underground camp with it. And as you can see, there it is. Now, later on, you can dress all this up. You can hide these little ugly bits so you don't see it. And honestly, this might be too high. Because here's the ground. If I try to use this, see, it looks kind of terrible because it zooms in on your character like that. So we might want to move this a little bit so it's not... It's fighting with me here. How about that? There we go. Much better. Now when I use this, there we go. Look, right here. So the other suggestion I make is when you do these underground builds, that you try to go down as quick as you can, because right now we're pretty close to the surface. Surface is here. And when you place items down underground, if you're too close to the surface, sometimes they just shoot right up. And with all these rocks here in this spot, that would be a problem, because things are just going to get lost in all these rocks. So, first person, I would usually go ahead and one snap here. Yeah. It's not quite one to play nice. I have to finagle this. And this is one of the things when you're building underground, you got to kind of think a little differently on how you build. And it's just something you get used to the more you build. Right now, I'm trying to have stairs that lead up to my entrance. So I kind of have to build all this down first, and then I can snap to it. So you kind of have to go backwards on how you do your builds. But yeah, it's a challenge. The more you do it, the more you get used to all the little gotchas with building underground. But I think it's worth it for everybody to at least give it a try. It's an experience. It's a whole different way to build camps. If you like it, great. It's another method of camp building. If you don't like it, well, I mean, that's fair. It's not for everybody. It can be very, very frustrating because you can spend a lot of time building underground, and then you're building it out, and you're going in one direction, and then all of a sudden, oh, I didn't plan ahead. I can't go any further, because when you're underground, it's almost impossible to see where your boundaries are. So you really have to think ahead, know what your distance is from the camp module, know how many block directions you can go in one direction or another, or how low you can go. It really takes a little bit of planning, but the best way to get started is to just build one. Just just build one. Find a flat spot, preferably not here in Vault 51 because it's kind of a bear to build here. Just find like a parking lot or something without a lot of rocks, and just start building underground and have fun with it. And then once you get used to it, find another location, start building there. Or if you like the challenge of building around rocks and stuff, usually these rocks underground aren't solid, but they look really glitchy when you're inside of them. See how things just kind of disappear like that? I try to stay away from them. I try to build away from them because that looks a little too glitchy for me. And then when you are underground, one of the joys of being underground is sometimes you just see random stuff like that tree, just a random tree. Why is it there? And that would be out of bounds too. You just might find some cool stuff underground. Like when I built underground here at Vault 51, I saw this, the back of the vault door, with this cool catwalk and everything. So this is why I like to build here, because I've got a couple of cool structures that you usually wouldn't see that you can build around. And exploring underground and finding some other places to maybe build with, maybe you'll find something cool. Maybe around the nuclear silo or the missiles launch out of, and things like that. Anyways, let me also show you that you don't have to use a symptomatic, as I said I would. So let's get this out of the way. Say you don't have a symptomatic, or you don't want to use a symptomatic, you want to use something else. As long as it's something that you can interact with, like say, it's punching back, whatever. Let's see if that's tall enough. Hopefully it's tall enough. Oh, barely. I'm getting rid of the symptomatic. So yeah, I can interact with this, and I can use this to go underground if I wanted to. Really, it's just whatever you want to use. Get underground: a chair, a bed, a player buff item. Just keep in mind that when you do get underground, you're very careful about deleting your entry point, because if you're just kind of renovating and deleting and stuff, and you accidentally delete that, well, you just lost your entry point into your camp. And if you're low on budget, or you don't really have an access point to get back down here, that could ruin your entire underground camp. So just be very mindful that your entry point is the one that you're really going to kind of have to plan ahead, because it's really hard to make a new entry point once you've set one down, unless you really plan ahead. Anyways, I hope that helps with building an underground camp. I'm excited to see what you come up with. So just tag me again when you build something. I'd love to see it. Good luck.